bootcamp is like a quick fix dinner where degrees are more like slow cooked meals. There are countless examples out there. Designers who, without having a formal design education and with all the self learning, have succeeded in the industry, have built their career into the industry as an expert.
It's always possible to figure out by yourself and actually even do better than people who have actually been in design school.
One thing degree gives you is enough time to explore and experiment, work on long-term projects, network with peers, professors. Bootcamps are more for the people who are like self-motivated, and degrees are for people who actually want. I'm Yagnesh, bringing you the insights on blending creativity with business in the design world.
So today we are diving into a question that every designer asks: are design degrees worth it? So let's find out.
Yeah. So degrees offer comprehensive understanding of the field. It takes care of design theory, history of design, foundational principles. So all of these things gives you a good strong base. On the other hand, boot camps are super focused. They get you job ready, and that happens in very short time period.
But do you think that sometimes design degrees they lack in terms of industrial trends that are going because it takes them time to?
Absolutely. Boot camps tend to align more with what is happening in the industry at the moment, especially with softwares, methodologies, focusing heavily on application side of design. Whereas the degrees, they focused heavily on the fundamentals that I had mentioned earlier. And if I want to give you an analogy, then it would be more like bootcamp is like a quick fix dinner where degrees are more like slow cooked meals, and both have its advantages, but you choose based on the time that you have or energy that you have or the need of the moment.
So basically you consume as per the appetite that you have.
Yeah.
Okay, so we're going to talk about any unique advantages a formal design education system has. So do you have any insights on that?
So one thing degree gives you is enough time to explore and experiment, work on long-term projects, network with peers, professors.
Yeah.
I remember working on pretty long-term projects that was specifically on typography. Such kind of advantages, I would say, we don't get it in boot camps because they are just 3 months long or a month long. At Evolve, we have found a balance between bootcamp and degree where we have industry specific mentors, and these mentors they actually guide and give enough time to the folks who are learning design, either the students or the professionals, giving them a way to network, a way to learn all the proficient skills that they would need, all the unconventional methods which are kind of like missing out in boot camps these days based on the statistics that we have.
The same lines I was going in, that when you're taking a boot camp, you're just there by yourself and trying to figure out, you don't even know if you're doing things correctly or not.
Yeah.
You're just finishing the course and just getting a certificate and then just hoping that you might just get a job.
Boot camps are more for the people who are like self-motivated, and degrees are for the people who actually want to spend enough time into the field where they get to work with the industry, like you get paid internships. You work with a company which is already working on real life problems, and universities, they allow you to do the internship for 4 months, 6 months, or sometimes for entire year if given the opportunity. And the facilities that they offer in terms of all the labs that they have, different workshops that they have, that's crazy. These are some of the advantages that university has to offer or a degree has to offer, but bootcamp has a very limited resources, and I think that's where the costing also plays a bigger part because of the facilities or the amenities that you get at the design degree schools. You don't get it at boot camp. That's where the major price differences are there.
And that's, I think, the gap that we are trying to also fill in, because if you can get all of this somewhere accessible, because not
Yeah,
everybody can
yeah.
actually get into design schools. It's quite hard. But you want to learn, you have passion for it, but just because you could not make it doesn't mean that you can't learn. So if there is a
True.
way where you can get all of this accessible, then there's a very high chance that you can actually make a really good career out of this.
Yeah.
And this is something that we are trying, so you can actually go and check it out what we are trying to do. So now let's talk about some skill set that people can learn by themselves, and some skills that they actually need guidance in.
So learning tools like Photoshop, Figma, a lot of other tools out there, they are like super easy these days. There are a lot of tutorials available online on medium.com, YouTube. A lot of short-term workshops happens around these online. Figma hosts a lot of quick courses on a weekly basis where you can learn a couple of things how to do in Figma and all. So these are like all super easy. And there are communities out there to help you out in case if you're getting stuck somewhere using these tools.
Yeah. And I think the generation is very like they're very exploratory. They can
Yeah.
just Google search and figure it out. So tools are something that anybody can pick up, and I think that's a very big misconception that once you
Yeah,
have your
yeah.
tools sorted, that you feel that okay, you can design something. But that's where I think a lot of guided learning would come into place, because
Yes.
you've learned the tool, but how do you apply it?
Yeah, exactly. So if you think about mastering the skills like how to communicate, how to present your design or the solutions that you are trying to propose for a problem, these are some of the skills which can't be taught online.
Yeah.
Like take fundamental skills like user psychology, understanding human behavior, how to conduct a research, how to ask questions during user interviews in the research phase, designing the entire ecosystem, not just a couple of screens. All of these they need a structured guidance or a structured setup to learn and to master, and it needs its own sweet time as well.
Yeah.
So it needs a good mentor, because this can't happen in a day or two. And also like you need to spend like good amount of time in mastering these. And if you have a mentor, it's going to be a great value addition where their experience and their expertise is always going to be available for you, where if they have spent 5 years learning something, you might learn the same thing through them in 5 weeks.
Yeah.
Right. So that's the beauty of having a mentor on board who can bring a structure to this entire learning, not just the tools, but also foundational skills or methodologies.
Yeah. And I also feel that for designers, it's very important to keep asking questions and
Yeah.
figure this out. So when you're just self-learning, you don't have anybody to bounce off your ideas with and
Yeah.
ask, and also go to the core reasons of why something is specifically used to solve a problem. So that whole why
Yeah.
aspect,
Yeah.
if you have somebody, you like you have your mentors, but even if you have a peer community that you can always bounce off
Yeah.
ideas to, you learn a lot of collaboration with them and working by yourself, because I think as people who are designers know that it's a very team sport. Like everybody,
Very true.
right?
Yeah, yeah, very true. So if you think about it, and you have rightly mentioned that it's a team sport, creativity is a team sport. With boot camps, the some of the challenges that we have identified are more around that everybody works in silo. They work on individual projects. They work on because it's highly focused on building portfolios. Whereas a structured training is not focusing on the portfolio, it's focusing more around building the fundamentals, and you make like building enough strong base so that you have the capability and you build the expertise towards deriving solutions out of thin air.
Yeah.
Like the magic happens
Yeah.
through this hard work. And it's very important to do this in a team setup. So mentors, they always make sure to create a kind of a team. If you are in a setup where not like a bootcamp setup, which is a short-term and silo-based or self-paced, purely self-paced thing, but where a setup which supports group discussions, a setup which supports a teamwork, that brings lot of magic on the table while working on a solution. So there's a lot to do with a mentor helping you structure all of these things out, because otherwise it's all chaos.
Okay, so now we're going to come to a segment that a lot of you people must be wondering. So, can you actually succeed without formal training?
Yes, you can. There are countless examples out there. Designers who, without having a formal design education and with all the self learning, have succeeded in the industry, have built their career into the industry as an expert. Now they are serving as mentors, they are teaching design. We have great examples in the team as well. So, but it always need a killer portfolio. It needs a lot of learning. And if we connect back to when they say like you need like 5 years into something, or you need like 10,000 hours theory, that's very much true for anybody who's spending enough time to explore, get the exposure, network, work in a team setup. These people, they are always going to be better at what they are up to. And say, for example, if you're learning visual design and you don't have a formal education, with formal education, you would definitely be saving a lot of your time and cost. But with self learning, pace is slower than a turtle speed, and you are going to get distracted with a lot of different things coming in the trend, people talking about some of the trends or skills that you should develop. And with, again, without a structure, you won't know how effectively or efficiently to reach from where you are and where you can reach excel towards.
Yeah. So, yeah, I agree. I think having a design school background or a formal education helps you get the foot in the door. Like,
Yeah.
you have that. But it's always possible to figure out by yourself and actually even do better than people who have actually been in the design schools.
Yeah.
Sorry to say that, but there are a lot of people who learn this, but then either they drift off or they do something else. But someone like truly is into something that they want to learn, you can always do that by yourself.
Yeah, that's
you just
very
need
true.
help.
Yeah, that's
That's it.
very true.
Yeah.
So if you see, there's a trend that got started, I think, post COVID, where a lot of UI developers or front end people, like, to give you specific examples, they started switching their careers to become designers because they had enough time out of their work, and they were like, all of these people, they were working out of home, and they had a fair knowledge or awareness about what design is, the application of design, the tools that designers use, and that made them curious to learn design tools first and then learn fundamentals post that.
So they learn the other way around.
And yeah, and that's where you see the rise of boot camps. Like, there are boot camps that offers UX courses for 99 rupees,
Yeah.
and they are creating this entire ecosystem. Like, such boot camps, they are creating such an ecosystem which is actually hampering the quality of these career transistors who can become great designers.
Yeah.
If given a proper structured training to them, or education to them, or learning to them from mentorship perspective, from formal learning perspective, and not just specifically around the tools, but foundational skills like how to present your design. Like, I'll give you an example. Most of the boot camps, they will tell you to make just one portfolio to
Yeah.
apply everywhere.
Yeah.
That's the most shittiest idea that
We've
anyone
seen
can
that
use.
so many times.
And I've been mentoring a lot of young designers, students, and also people who are transitioning their careers from various background to design. And I've always asked them to create portfolios specifically for the job that they are applying to.
Right.
So if they are applying at 10 different jobs, they will have 10 different portfolios, because
Right.
if you have worked on 10 projects, none of the people who are working in these companies who are hiring, they would have time to go through all the projects.
That's true.
So you have to create an experience for these hiring managers.
Yeah.
And if you are a UX designer or if you're a designer, simply saying, and if you don't know how to design the experience for the hiring manager who's your user, what kind of design would you make?
Yeah.
So boot camps, they purely focus on the deliverable of creating portfolios and just get done with that. These portfolios are beautiful, but it's more like jack of all, and it won't serve a specific audience. But for the job seeker, they want to get placed at a specific company and not get placed at all the places.
Yeah.
Because that's not going to happen. So yeah, and that takes us to the next segment.
Yeah, which is basically for career switchers, should they go for an option of design degree or not? Because they're at a stage where
If they have time,
Yeah.
if they have money, they should go with that. But statistically speaking, and from my own personal experience speaking, I think that is not feasible, and it won't be practical for them because
It's
they
hard.
might have started their family.
Yeah.
They would have financial liabilities. They would have other commitments in life, personally or professionally. So they would always try to find out a, a thing which is kind of a balance between formal education and boot camps, sort of a
Yeah.
thing. And the word or the term for this that they're looking for is more towards structured or guided learning
Yeah.
rather than a video recorded and placed
One
on
size
some
fit for
course, and it is just like one-way communication happening.
Yeah, yeah. But sometimes I feel that even if you have a design degree, you have that certificate saying that you're a design graduate, you think that feels good to have and show everybody, or it has no value?
Doesn't matter now.
It doesn't
It used to
matter.
matter pehle because pehle it was all like, oh, kya degree hai,
हाँ,
kya bank balance hai.
Yeah.
Like all of that thing, nothing matters.
Yeah.
Now, what assets do you have? What impact have you made?
yeah,
These things, they matter a lot. And you can only make an impact if you have the fundamentals, if you have a clear fundamentals.
yeah,
Otherwise, baki to all the skills that you learn from boot camps or even like short-term courses. I don't want to specifically mention the term boot camp, but all the short-term courses that you learn or all the shortcuts that you take, you will always end up taking the same long route, no matter whatever number of shortcuts that you take.
yeah, yeah,
So everything boils down to how much time, how much energy that you have, how much resources that you have, and you decide based on that whether you want to go with design school, learn design through that, you want to go through multiple boot camps, keep making mistake and keep
Yeah.
learning from it. It all depends on you. So let's say if you are 10-year-old, you will become UX designer probably by the age of 25 years. And if you are 21 years old or 20 years old, if you get a formal education, you will become UX designer by the age of 25 years. So it's your call.
yeah. So I think just a realistic fact here is that because we also interview so many people for our own company, is that when you do see a design school or somebody who's from that background, it does put them in a light where we expect them to know certain things, and that is somewhere people who are transitioning careers that's an uphill battle for them,
Yeah.
because that is where the distinction come, and that is a fact. So, but that does not mean that they're not good enough or qualified. It's just that they have to work that way a little more, because they are fighting. They're the competition. Their competitors are people who have learned from different design schools. So they need to keep that in mind, that their
Yeah.
competitors have formal education. So they need to step up and learn even more
Yeah.
and present themselves in a way which makes the other person understand that they know what they're talking about.
Yeah, yeah. From all the applications that we get and people who have design degrees versus people who have got the certificates from the short-term courses or the boot camps, the major difference lies in terms of their presentation style. The second difference lies in the fundamentals that they have in terms of the clarity that they have. Now, we have seen some exceptions in terms of the students who have certificates from the short term courses. But these people, they are passionate about design, not because they need a design job, but because they want to actually work on something that really makes an impact or makes sense for them.
Yeah.
And that's very important. And that's what we always try to identify while we are asking questions to them or while we are interviewing. And that's why we have those questions, and we ask for a video recording of them explaining what is cognitive load, because that's one of the most fundamental. It's like if you are an adult, then you already know how to walk, how to talk. So it's as basic as that. But most of the time, people with design degrees with them, we have found that they have fair knowledge about the cognitive load and all. Others, they do have it, but they have it more from the application perspective,
Yeah.
tools perspective. And that's another reason where I would say bootcamp does add a lot of value from the tools perspective, what tools to use, some shortcuts that you can take. If there is a project where you only have 3 weeks to work on, then how to take some of the shortcuts. So these are some of the things that you will get to learn from boot camps.
Yeah.
But again, if you really want to become a product designer or a principal product designer, then you would need the formal training, or you will have to have the foundation of all the design principles clear.
Right. Crux of the matter is that if you want to get into a design field, you need to know what you're going to do and if this is for you or not. Especially right now, if we just talk specifically about UX, you need to understand what is this field about before you even start learning everything. And come be part of the ecosystem, because we understand, as somebody, like I'm self-taught and I know what it feels like to have a mentor and how it's changed things. So we are trying to have that ecosystem. So try out our course and see if you like it and be a part of our community.
Trust us, you don't want to miss this one out.